Hello kids, welcome back for the chemistry session with me, Rajendra Rane. In the previous session, we had done empirical formula. Now if you remember, in the very first lecture I had said that the ultimate aim of finding the empirical formula is it helps us to calculate the molecular formula. So in today's video, I'll be teaching you how to calculate molecular formula using empirical formula. First, let's understand the definition of the molecular formula. It is either the same as its experimentally determined empirical formula or it's some whole number multiple of it. Now what do I mean by this? Now kids, if you can recollect the very first video, these are the 4 examples that I had given you. Okay, so a molecular formula is either the same as its experimentally determined empirical formula. Like in the case of water and the case of formaldehyde, the empirical formula and the molecular formula are the same, right? So it is either the same as its experimentally determined empirical formula or it's some whole number multiple of it. Now what do I mean by this? If you have a look at this empirical formula over here, if I multiply this with 2, this is the molecular formula that I get. Similarly, if I multiply 6 over here, I get this as the molecular formula, right? So the second part is again cleared over here, that it's some whole number multiple. So here the whole number is 2, here the whole number is 6. So it's some whole number multiple of it. So that means if I multiply 6 with this number, I get the molecular formula. If I multiply 2 with this empirical formula, I get this molecular formula, right? Perfect. Now moving on to the next part, let us understand what are the steps to find molecular formula. The first step is to calculate the empirical formula. Now sometimes empirical formula might be given to you, sometimes it might not be given to you. Okay, in case if it is given to you, it's a good thing, you can go ahead. If it is not given to you, you have to calculate the empirical formula as I had told you before. Moving to the next step, that is step number 2. Then calculate the empirical formula mass. Now this is the most important step. Once you find out the empirical formula, you need to calculate empirical formula mass. Then moving on to the third step, divide the known molar mass by the mass of the empirical formula. Okay, so you'll have the molecular